Welcome back, guys, to The Mole, and today we are going to be talking about episode 3, the horrendous cliffhanger of who was going to get the exemption, Tony or Hannah. And I gotta say, this was a very, very dramatic episode. The challenge definitely gave me some insight into who I think is actually the mole, and I gotta say, this episode was just fantastic from start to finish. It genuinely was. This show is the best show that you guys aren't watching, and if you're not watching, what are you doing? It's on Netflix. Go get a subscription if you ain't got one. You gotta watch it. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into the video, shall we? So, like I said, it came down to Tony versus Hannah. Who was going to get this exemption card? Well, Hannah decided to bat her eyelids a little bit, flirt a little bit, get what she wanted, and it worked. Tony decided to give her the exemption card, which was very interesting. So they started on 45,000, remember, and the money ticked down to $9,870, which was crazy. Fortunately, Ari decided to up it to 10K, but still, that's absolutely crazy, the fact that they lost $35,000 just from this one challenge. Crazy. Do I think that Tony or Hannah are the mole? No, not really. There's genuinely no reason for the mole to want a exemption card this early in the game. It just doesn't make sense, personally. It just doesn't. But it does mean that you have to look at the people who stepped out of the episode, the challenge, and I still think that Melissa is dodgy. The quiz was an interesting one because each and every single one of them could have gone home at that point apart from Hannah. I genuinely wasn't sure what was going to happen. I hate that they do this whole thing where like they tap the phone, it lights up their face, and then they go like that. And it's like, huh? Why do you need to show everyone? We've already seen the light on your face. We don't need you to show us that you've got a green like screen, because it's already lit up your face. It's already lighted. It's already shined in your face. We'll just stick with that. So I just felt like that was a really, really frustrating moment for me, because I was sitting there like, what's going on here? What are we doing here? What are we actually doing? CBA. But interestingly, Andy was the one that was eliminated. I really didn't expect that. I thought he'd be around for longer. My friend really did think that he was the mole, so when he was revealed to be the one going home, she gasped. I've not heard this gasp before. I was like, I was like, wow, you put your entire chest into that. So it was very interesting. Later on, there was like a moment where Hannah and Tony were like kissing, like just openly in front of the group, and I was like, are these two a couple already, or is this like a new thing? I don't get it. I'm really confused. I feel like we've missed something, because all of a sudden they're like boyfriend and girlfriend, and it's like, huh? They're like can't keep their hands off each other. They're cuddling, they're kissing. It's like, huh? When did this happen? What's going on here? What's hip and happening in this place? So the cars that they chose for the mission were the teams that they were going to be in for the mission. So we had car 1 that had Sean, Hannah, Michael, Q, and Tony, and then car 2 was Melissa, Diana, Muna, Nish, and Ryan. Interesting mix of teams, and I think this is going to come in really, really handy later on, purely because I have a very, very genuine feeling that this mission is going to really highlight who is actively not working against the group. So who is good? Who is the ones that we can trust? Who is the ones? Who are the ones? God, the grammar is not grammaring today. So the mission was essentially a break-in challenge. They took them to like it looked like an abandoned city in a zombie apocalypse, but apparently it's meant to look that way. Either way, it looked cool as hell. It looked amazing. It was such a cool location. That's what I love about this show, is that they take them to such crazy destinations, and it looks superb, like amazing. So I can't fault them for that. But this challenge was essentially the team leaders, who turned out to be Melissa and Sean, again, this is going to come in very handy. They were team leaders, and they would have to abseil down the building looking for a red chair on a balcony. And then that would signify what apartment the team would have to break into, and then they would have to basically solve a puzzle within that room in order to get the money. Interesting is what this was, because I'll start with Sean's team, because Sean's team was slightly less obvious with the sabotage, if there was any. Sean was petrified. To put it bluntly, he was petrified of going down that abseiling. I don't blame him. I really do not feel like Sean is the mole. If he is, he's doing a fantastic job of it, because this felt genuine and this felt real. I did not anticipate him having this kind of visceral reaction to this challenge. But once he got into the swing of things, he was zooming through it. He managed to get his team into the building very, very quickly. It was all the way down on floor 4, bearing in mind they were on like floor 38 or something like that. So it was a little bit crazy. But he managed to get them in quite quickly, which was impressive, I gotta say. I was really, really impressed with him. Once they were in the room, this is where things started to fall down a little bit. Because Q was basically being like, yo, guys, there's a flashlight here. The flashlight must be important, because the clues are basically like, everything you'll need is in your bag. And the flashlight was in the bag. And there were loads of batteries around. So he was like, right, let's just get this on. And then they worked out it was a UV light. And so they went over to the safe. UV light on the safe. Oh, we found the 4 codes. Now what order do we put them in? This is where things just fell down. Because the group was just really not using the UV light around the room. And that was the problem with this group. They found the numbers that they thought it might have been, and then just kind of did it from there. And there wasn't any real rhyme or reason, which was a shame. They really should have been able to work this one out. I was sat there for the majority of this challenge going, how are they meant to know what the order of the numbers is? Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then once the challenge was over, I was like, they get 3 attempts on the safe. And if they find the correct 2-digit... If they find the correct two digits, so I think for this team it was 63 and 48, then that means that there's only 2 possible combinations that it could be. 48-63 or 63-48. So all they'd need to do is try it, and then it would be fine. But stupidly, they decided to use one of their things on just uselessness, and it was foolish, and it was really fucking frustrating. It was so annoying. So Hannah then was like, I'm really confident with these numbers, and they decided to put them in, and it was just an absolute nightmare of epic proportions from Sean's team once he actually got them inside the building. I don't think Sean's guilty. I feel like Hannah just made legitimate mistakes, because they found the numbers roughly, they just weren't sure how to put them together. So yeah, it was a shame. They should have really thought it through a little bit better, but what can you do at the end of the day? There's not really much you can do. So it's a shame, but it is what it is. They didn't get the money. They came back, and obviously that's then thrown suspicion on their team. But who knows? Like, genuinely, actually, who knows? Now, the other team was a lot less subtle with the sabotage, purely because they actually managed to get the money by the end of it. However, Melissa was abseiling, right? And she seemed fairly okay with it. She was obviously scared, but fairly okay. But it took her, they had an hour to do it. It took her half an hour to scale the building. I'm fairly certain that Sean did it in less than half that time, which is crazy to me. So the fact that she took half an hour to get down that building screams to me that she was playing for time. Also, there were poker chips in the apartment, and they made sure to focus in on the poker chips for one of the shots, which seemed like a really weird choice. Also, Sean is from Las Vegas. So again, could that be a clue towards him? Because again, Las Vegas is known for gambling. Could it be a link to Sean? I don't know. But I am very concerned that now 2 episodes in a row there's been some kind of poker reference. And we've got 2 people that have links to poker. We've got a professional poker player and someone who's from Las Vegas. So I'm really sort of tapping into my detective skills. I've got the pinboard up with all the string going towards people's faces from different clues. I'm on it. I'm genuinely on it. Now, Melissa's team found a $5,000 clue. The other team didn't find this, or they just discarded it straight away. But Melissa's team decided to keep a hold of it. And they ended up using it later on, and it just told them basically what they already knew. And so they just wasted $5,000 of what they'd earned from this mission on information that they already knew. The person that was pushing for this was Niche. Again, Niche is not filling me with confidence that he's actually fine in this game. I genuinely do think that he's a suspicious person. But someone I don't feel like is suspicious is Diana. Because Diana single-handedly solved this mission. Like, single-handedly solved this mission. She was the one that found the numbers with the UV lights. And she also was the one that managed to put them together and get the correct code. So, honestly, I gotta give her props where prop is due. Because they wasted two combinations on the wrong combination. Because, obviously, she found a number that was 12. And she thought that might have been it. But it was, in fact, 21. And so it was just a bit of a debacle. But I don't blame that on her. I feel like that was a genuine innocent mistake. But I do feel like Niche and Melissa really did sabotage this group. Niche sabotaged the money. Melissa sabotaged the time. So there's a lot going on. But I genuinely do feel like those two hindered this team. So the final challenge of this episode was a fortune cookie challenge. Each of the contestants, there were 10 of them, they were given a fortune cookie, and inside of them, 5 of them would have money to add to the pot, 5 of them would have exemptions. And so essentially, only 5 people will be getting something. Whether that be 5 exemptions, 5 lots of money, or a mix of both is yet to be seen. But obviously, this is a game of bluffing. Everybody decided to claim an amount of money. You had Tony, who actually did have the $20,000, and Ryan, who claimed she had the $20,000. So obviously she has the exemption. Then you had Sean, Niche, Hannah, and Muna, who were claiming that they had $10,000. Only 2 of them actually do. And then you had Diana, Melissa, Q, and Michael, who have $5,000. And only 2 of them actually do have that money. So there is a total of $20, $30, $40, $50,000 on the line here. And this is a complete game of bluff. We actually didn't see any of the elimination process of this one. But I think it's interesting to note that the entire team seemed very eager to vote Tony out. Even though he's sitting there going, guys, this paper says $20,000. This paper says $20,000. Trust me. Please, for the love of God. Please, because otherwise you guys are going to fuck yourself. Absolutely, royally screw yourself over if you let Ryan have the exemption card. But obviously Ryan's saying the exact same thing. So it's just really, really difficult to know who to trust in this game. I think the smart thing is maybe vote on Ryan first, I guess. I don't know. It's a tough game. It really is. But yeah, it's tough. So, who are my suspicions after episode 3? Well, I had a feeling that Sean might have been dodgy in episode 1. His dodginess didn't prevail in this episode, but the constant reminder of like poker and gambling and things like that is making me think it could be him. And could they be clues to he's from Las Vegas? Because he mentioned that and it seemed really weird to mention that randomly today. Then there's also Melissa because of the poker references again, but also because she's actively been preventing the team from getting any money. In the sense of like, she's just been playing for time. Like, she was part of the team that was a mess in the sniper challenge. She was part of the team that was struggling to get the underwater thing, and she wasn't swimming down properly to get it. And then this episode, it took her half an hour to scale a building when it should not have taken her that amount of time. Like, not even slightly. So I feel like she was playing for time, and that's put her back on my radar. But Niche is also on my radar. Niche is a dodgy fellow, because in the first episode, I truly believed he was fine. But was he only fine because the team put him in a leadership position, and therefore he had to play the game well in order to keep his position in the game? Or, and this is a very big or, did they decide to give this person the mole after that first episode? That could be an interesting one. But either way, I feel like he's very suspicious in the sense of the second challenge, he led everyone astray on the smashing rocks bit. This episode, he pushed to use the $5,000 clue, and then when it came down to choosing which of the codes, he decided to flip a coin, which could have ended disastrously. So, I don't know, there's a lot of suspicion around him. I don't know, it's just, it sucks, but that is pretty much it for this episode. So, thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, doing all those YouTube things that you guys do so well. But until then, keep on ranting, and I'll see you guys later. Bye now.